Hello and welcome back to Brain Boost. In today's video, we'll be exploring a topic that resonates deeply with Nepali football fans: the downfall of Nepali football. Once a source of national pride, our football scene has lost its way over the years. In this video, we'll go deep into what caused the decline, what's holding us back now, and the steps we need to take to rebuild Nepali football from the ground up. Let's dive in. Part 1. The Golden Era of Nepali football. Nepali football wasn't always struggling. Back in the 1980s and 1990s, our national team was a formidable force, especially in South Asia. Players like Rayu Kajushakia, Ganesh Thapa, and many others gave us moments of pride and glory. These players weren't just athletes, they were national icons, inspiring an entire generation. Stadiums like Grassroots Stadium were regularly packed with fans, and our team often competed fiercely in the South Asian Games, ANFA championships, and various regional tournaments. But as the years went by, our success dwindled. Why did this happen? What factors led to this significant decline? Let's examine the issues in detail. Part 2. The factors behind the downfall of Nepali football. 1. Corruption and mismanagement. One of the primary issues holding Nepali football back has been corruption and mismanagement within the governing body, the All Nepal Football Association (ANFA). Over the years, allegations of embezzlement, favoritism, and unethical practices have plagued ANFA. For instance, funds provided by international bodies like FIFA for infrastructure and player development have allegedly not reached their intended beneficiaries. Instead of investing in players, infrastructure, or training programs, much of this money has reportedly been lost due to corruption or misallocated to personal interests. Such mismanagement has shaken the faith of players, fans, and sponsors alike. Football organizations thrive on trust, and without it, securing the resources and support needed for growth is nearly impossible. 2. Inadequate infrastructure. Imagine young players in countries like Japan or South Korea training on state-of-the-art pitches, with access to sports science facilities and advanced coaching. Now, compare that to the reality in Nepal, where even our national team sometimes struggles with inadequate training grounds. Nepal's facilities are outdated and often poorly maintained. The Grassroots Stadium, our most iconic stadium, has been in need of regular upkeep. Training centers for the national and youth teams are limited and lack modern amenities. Meanwhile, in many rural areas, players are forced to train on makeshift fields without proper equipment. Without investing in modern infrastructure, it's unrealistic to expect our players to compete at an international level. In countries where football has succeeded, infrastructure investment is the backbone of the sport's growth. 3. Political interference in sports. Another factor that has hindered Nepali football's growth is the constant interference of politics in sports administration. In Nepal, sports organizations are often influenced by political agendas, which means decisions are not always made in the best interest of the sport. ANFA has seen numerous leadership changes and controversies due to political maneuvering. This instability disrupts continuity, as each leadership change shifts priorities and disrupts long-term planning. Instead of focusing on developing football, political affiliations sometimes lead to favoritism, creating a system where true talent and merit are sidelined. 4. Neglect of youth development programs. Football is a game where early training and talent nurturing make all the difference. Countries like Japan have invested heavily in youth development, setting up youth leagues, and ensuring consistent training for players from a young age. In Nepal, youth development programs are sporadic and lack structure. While ANFA has organized a few youth tournaments and camps, they are not consistent, well-funded, or widely accessible. As a result, young talent often goes unnoticed and underdeveloped. Without a pipeline of young players receiving quality training, building a competitive national team becomes nearly impossible. This absence of structured youth development programs means that our potential stars don't get the training, exposure, or competitive environment they need to shine. 5. Unstable domestic league system. Nepal's premier league, the Martyrs Memorial Division League, has long suffered from inconsistency. Seasons have been postponed or cancelled due to funding issues, and the league doesn't receive the marketing or media support it needs to thrive. Players go months without playing competitive matches, which impacts their development. An inconsistent league system creates a lack of stability for players, coaches, and clubs. When domestic football isn't prioritized, it forces talented players to seek opportunities abroad, leading to a brain drain that weakens the league further. 6. Lack of financial support and sponsorships. Financial challenges are another obstacle for Nepali football. Without substantial sponsorships and government support, it's hard to fund training, maintain facilities, and pay coaches adequately. The private sector has been hesitant to invest in a league system plagued by inconsistency and corruption. Meanwhile, players are often underpaid, which can dissuade young talent from pursuing football as a serious career path. Without substantial financial backing, building a competitive and sustainable football ecosystem in Nepal becomes incredibly challenging. Part 3. How can we revive Nepali football?
1. Eliminate corruption and increase accountability. Transparency and accountability should be the cornerstone of any revival effort. ANFA and other football organizations must prioritize rooting out corruption. A zero-tolerance approach to unethical practices, clear rules for financial management, and regular audits could go a long way in restoring faith. 2. Invest in infrastructure. Building modern facilities is crucial. ANFA and the government should work together to construct training academies, improve stadiums, and build quality pitches across the country. The private sector could also be incentivized to invest through sponsorship and advertising opportunities. 3. Establish grassroots programs and youth leagues. Grassroots programs can spark a football revolution by bringing the sport to young players all over Nepal. These programs should start in schools and extend to community clubs, ensuring young players are introduced to quality coaching and competitive play from an early age. 4. Stabilize and market the domestic league. The Martyrs Memorial, a division league, should be held regularly and professionally marketed to draw in fans and sponsors. Reliable broadcast partnerships and digital streaming options could expand the league's reach, while higher wages and incentives would encourage players to stay in Nepal. 5. Hire qualified international coaches. Hiring international coaches can bring expertise in modern tactics, skill development, and player psychology. These coaches could work with our teams to bring Nepali football to a global standard, giving players exposure to the latest training techniques. 6. Re-engage fans and rebuild community support. Fans are the soul of football. Marketing campaigns, affordable tickets, and community events could reconnect fans with their local teams. Creating a strong fan base would build morale and establish a more positive image for Nepali football. Reviving Nepali football is not going to be easy, but with the right changes, it's possible. Football has the power to unify our country, and every Nepali football fan deserves to see our team succeed. We must hold ANFA accountable, invest in infrastructure, develop youth, and give our players a strong, consistent league system. Let's work together to bring Nepali football back to glory. Thanks for watching. If you care about Nepali football, hit that like button, share this video, and subscribe to Brain Boost. Tell us in the comments what you think can revive Nepali football.